welcome back to another video for today, and I'm your boy Demario Morgan. Right now, as you know me as Russell the Artel. But I wanted to talk to you guys about my life in art, and as well as like the main questions in any kind of way, because usually right now is like I kind of like wrote down in my notes about these simple words, and it's where, why, how, and now. Now the whole thing is I said those words specifically is because these are like the most important questions of them all, because I was basically answering these questions. I was trying to like make myself to remind myself why am I here, and as well as why am I still making art in any kind of way. Usually I was trying to like get my name out in my in my town, in my town of California, and as well as everything, you know. But before we get into this video though, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you guys are new here, and as well as if you guys like, if you guys like what I'm hearing, if you guys like what I'm saying, if anything means something to you, and as well as the artists as well who are watching this video right now. But let's get into this. So the question is, what made me to draw? So that question takes me back a little bit further. I guess when I was 3 years old. I know I said this before, but at the same time, it's like I just wanted to put in a little more detail so you guys could actually like know. But one thing is though, what inspires me was, I guess as though what inspires me, I mean everything just inspires me in general. Usually it can be anything, but for me for me specifically, um I had been inspired by Pac-Man. I've been inspired by Super Mario 64, and as well as I've been inspired by music and cartoons as well. Cause I think I remember the first time I ever watched a cartoon. I think it was the Smurfs, or the Smurfs, or like any kind of cartoon I watched before. But I think it was mainly Looney Tunes, to be honest, because usually that was like the first time I watched Looney Tunes before, and I see how like I kind of see how each and every cartoon character is all loony. They always have their psychotic ways. They always have their way of like beating people. They always have their way of like tricking people, making everybody laugh. Like, who else doesn't? And I think the real question is, what made me draw specifically? Well, I say the one specifically was, I think the two main reasons is Super Mario 64 and Sailor Moon, because usually those were like the only two that I was inspired by because of the way it looked. And I'm gonna like dive into the Super Mario 64 one. So the Super Mario 64, the first time I played it, and I saw this opening intro of how this Lagatute holding a camera, and then he just like swirling around the castle, Princess Peach's castle, because and the music came in. And to be honest, I thought it was incredible in my honesty, to be honest. And I was totally was moved by it, because I see how the but I actually know what a castle looks like. I know what it actually is, but at the same time, what inspires me is like inspires me the most is like a castle has a princess, and usually that's like my entire standard take on it, because usually I was drawing castles for a very long time. I was most importantly being like improvement, and as well as trying to do better, because usually I always been the type of person to like copy stuff and then see what I can draw even more, something that my imagination has never explored before, but also still keep on trying to. And that's what made me drew castles in the first place, because castles are like a lovely, inspiring thing. They're also like a representation of like family, order, securement, and as well as fantasies, of course, like Lord of the Rings or Super Mario Bros. Or any kind of like, well, around there. So for Sailor Moon though, the reason why the reason why I got into Sailor Moon was because it's because of the transformations, and as well as like the theme songs of it. I didn't really I didn't really see the other version of the Sailor Moon. I only like seen like the other version was by Deke, because if you guys ever heard of Deke, I guess as though like it was different soundtracks, different voice actors along the rest. And I actually like recognize that person's voice from Serena, and I think you probably seen her in B in Puppycat, where this voice actor played as Sailor Moon. She also played as Toast. That that kind of caught me off guard and blew my mind. But also though, I also wanted to like explore more other than what I like used to seeing. So I just pretty much explore everything, hear everything, and know everything. So the other question is, what made me be so interested in art in the first place? So to be honest, I didn't really see art as interesting. I see it the other way around. More, I see it as a hobby in my eyes, because usually that's the only times like a kid would do, is like a kid always has its natural routines in, in my routines, and the routines are is like I kind of like wake up, watch, play, eat, draw, and just basically doing the same thing all over again. Usually I always have a lot of interesting that was like going on with my mind and stuff, you know. So basically, once I got into the art museum for the first time, I think it was in, I think around that time I was in elementary school, and I think one of my godmothers, and I don't know who took me there first, but I think it was my godmother, because I think I remember we went to the Lagma Mu but we went to the Lagma Museum that night, and boy, I was totally not inspired, but I was like totally not inspired, but also like curious about what are these stuff that I can't really like do. But most of the time it's like I'm always walking around, and I usually thought like I am just seeing like boring random stuff. And usually like a kid does is like a kid doesn't really like have interest in art, but then usually I guess it didn't really sink in for me. But then the second time, I think it was in my elementary school, is that in the museum, is that I think we had a field trip on that day, and then there was this guy. She was like telling us about like the art and stuff, and usually, I guess like my teachers were somewhat having high hopes for me, and as well as like having high hopes to well to like draw more, to like see what I can do, and usually it's really been a long time. So I'm actually kind of happy just looking back at it right now, because that is like that is like the most important thing to my life, is because is that I have went to I basically went to like a whole lot of art galleries back then, but usually not a lot. I didn't really like attend to a whole lot back then, but usually like now it's like I have finally managed to go literally almost everywhere. But I will like go different museums from time to time, just to like change my perspective a little bit, just trying to see what I can get an inspiration from, you know. So the next question is, how am I improving? So the thing is, I guess I can say back in middle school, that's where everything else had started. Because I was somewhat improving more on drawing other anime styles. Because usually, I wasn't like leaning on to like cartoon styles at that time. Because I wasn't really like leaning onto it. I was more like leaning on to anime and classic cartoons. I'll just say that. And usually, one of my most biggest inspirations was Dragon Ball Z Kai. That was like the second anime I watched, and I was somewhat curious and somewhat interested in drawing anime, because that was like the only times I ever going to like get an improvement was drawing different styles, different ways of like trying to like make sure like everything else is right, making sure like there is no like marks, no like anything. But basically, it's like I didn't really like care a whole lot. It was like I kind of like just basically just draw random. Like I said, everything just comes in naturally when you don't rush it too much on like the styles you're like seeing. It's just that you have to like make sure that you try to do your best and try to like make sure everything else stays good, stays alright. And usually improving on anime was something the biggest thing I had, and it was considered like the most challenging thing that I've always been an experience to. And as well as I've gotten involved in a lot of activities. So I guess during the time, I guess during somewhere in the middle of my high school days, is that one of the counselors like asked me at the last minute, like, could you like make a logo for something for our school? And usually I was sort of like not really, it's called not really like into it, but also nervous at the same time. Is because it's like I'm a teenager, and it's like I don't really like care that much about my school or anything like that. It's like I just care to like live life or have fun in any kind of way. And usually most of the time those were like my most rebellious years. And I think what made me like draw more was because of my art teacher. Because I think what I remember correctly is like I had three art teachers. One, he is a digital teacher, and the other, they were the same art teachers that I have for like drawing and painting. But at the same time, it's like I have different teachers in different years, because there was one teacher, she was very kind, and she was very sweet about it, because at the same time it's like she kind of like noticed like I am improving on art. I'm somewhat like drawing my own kind of stuff, and she was and she thought, and then she thought, and then as soon as I could like tell, it's like she is more like of a freedom and a creativity kind of person. She just wanted to like see what type of students do they like to draw, and what they wanted to do. Because I think that that was like my only time like an art teacher of mine was so I think that was like the only time that my art teacher somewhat like likes me, but also like she believes in me. And at the same time when graduation was coming up, and she actually gave me a she kind of gave me a grad she kind of gave me a grad she kind of gave me a grad my goodness she gave me a graduation gift, and she gave me the biggest clipboard. She kind of gave me the biggest clipboard. She gave me the biggest sketch pad, and she gave me all kinds of different pencils, and I was very happy. but also I was very grateful that she obviously believes in me. And usually looking back at it now, I will never for I would never think, my goodness, I will never forget that day. She respected me, and I respected her in return, and we both have our own creative movement. And the last question is, where do I stand now? So, where do I stand now exactly? Well, I have been improving on my art. I basically worked it from scratch for 3 years later, and I'm starting to make changes. I'm starting to change my entire schedule, everything around me. And usually I try not to change it so fast, but try to take it slow. Take it step by step, like I said before. And usually I will improve on more, making people come in and pretty much let everyone see my art and get more people in the crowd, as well as my audience. As well as my audience. So anyway, guys, that's all I have for today. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe if you guys are new here. And I will see you all later, and I will make another video. So take care.